Welcome to the Road to Redemption podcast with your host, Cam Williamson. Each week, Cam sets out to shatter the labels and stigmas associated with mental health awareness by giving life lessons and raw overviews of events happening around the world.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your grateful host, Cam Williamson. Great to be back with you. Today, we are talking about Brittney Griner. She's free. It's a complex situation. I want to start by saying I'm glad that Brittney Griner is going home. If you guys don't know who Brittney Griner is, she's a WNBA star here from America who also plays over in Russia in the off time. She was arrested in Russia upon entering. She went there kind of at the beginning of the Russian-Ukraine war, and she was detained for having a weed cartridge in her bag. I guess it had enough residue in it that she was held. Okay. She was convicted for 9 years for, drug smuggling or whatever the charge was. The U.S. was back and forth on whether or not we were going to be able to get her back. It became very political because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict and America's involvement in that. So she was convicted. She was given 9 years. She was going to be sent to a Russian camp, some kind of camp under pretty harsh conditions to serve her 9 years. And that was what, most Americans thought, I think, was the end of it. Because what, to our knowledge, that Russia was asking for was a convicted arms dealer by the name of, let me see here, I just took a picture of it. There was a trader, Victor Bout, who is a known and convicted arms dealer, one of the most dangerous that America has known of. And that was what they wanted. That was who they wanted. America had begun to talk about, well, we have a Marine over there who goes, I just looked this one up as well. We have a Marine over there who, his last name is Whelan. I'm not going to give his first name. And he was captured for possible espionage, which the U.S. completely denies. So technically he would be held under wrongful terms as well, just like Brittney Griner. And, it's complicated. So anyway, she's freed. She's freed from her harsh prison sentence because we gave the arms dealer back. Okay. Now, again, I started by saying I'm happy that Brittney Griner is going home. No one should be in prison for marijuana. No one should be in prison for 9 years for marijuana. And no one should be put in some kind of weird, it seemed like a really tough camp that she was about to go to. So that's obviously insane. Let's talk about the complexity of the situation. These WNBA teams over in Russia are run by Russian oligarchs. If you don't know what a Russian oligarch is, that is someone who was a wealthy business person when Russia was still of the Soviet Union and maintained their wealth into now when they're no longer a part of that, but they still have immense power and wealth. So they fund these teams and they get these people. Brittney Griner's probably brought weed to Russia tons of times, and the oligarchs get them through, but this guy had to get out of Russia during the conflict and wasn't able to help her. And when he was called about it, he's like, I don't know nothing, or he just didn't answer the phone, whatever. She's involving herself in shady business. I'm not saying playing overseas is shady business, but know who you work for kind of things. I think there was a sense of entitlement. Hey, man, you know what you have in your bag. Don't miss me with this shit that you missed one. Hey, man, if you're going to Russia, you don't miss one. You check your bag. You triple check your bag. Come on, man. Now, again, I'm not saying that you should serve 9 years in prison. I'm not saying that. You should serve no time at all. But you got yourself in a situation. It's like if you go over to China and steal and they lock you up and they're super harsh on that type of shit where they'll cut your hands off or break your hands or some shit. And it's like you get yourself in this mess. Lonzo Ball's kid got himself detained over in China, and everyone was all worried about him a couple years ago. They were like, yo, you don't know what they do to thieves over there. It's like, yeah, man, fuck around and find out, right? Well, that's what these people are doing. So you have no problem working for a Russian oligarch when they're paying you way more, I think, than they pay you here to play WNBA, even though nobody still cares about it. It's made all political that she's a black LGBTQ plus athlete, which, okay, fine. Nobody's heard of her prior to this incident. But all of a sudden, she's a black LGBTQ hero. Even though she broke the law and did something stupid. Forget the law. She did something dumb. I'm a cannabis advocate. I'm also an advocate for not getting yourself arrested. I travel. I don't bring shit with me if you're not allowed to have it. Why? I don't want to go to jail. It's not because the law is what it is. It's because I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to put my family and my friends through a situation that I may not have to put them through. You're going to Russia. And you didn't check your bag for weed. I mean, again, it was a cartridge. It was like oil and a thing. I get it. I get it. My real concern that I'm, I guess, putting off getting to is with the United States President Joe Biden. What in the fuck are you doing? Hey, rule number 1, we don't negotiate with terrorists. You're negotiating with Russia while they're in active conflict and are talking about having guns nuclear weapons pointed at people. And I get it. We have an obligation also to get people home. We have a Marine still sitting over there. We're saying we know nothing about espionage. He's still sitting over there. He says he did nothing wrong. He served this country. Brittney Griner plays basketball, brought drugs into another country. We got her home by giving one of the most notorious, dangerous Russian arms dealers back to them in a time of active conflict with someone who just signed up for NATO. What the fuck are you doing? This is nothing against Brittney Griner. I feel bad for Brittney because she is going to be made as like this target for anger because of the situation, the state of our nation right now. Yo, we have never looked weaker. This is the weakest move I've ever seen from a United States president as long as I've ever been alive. We don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm not calling... It's hard not to call Russian terrorists when they're actively invading another country right now. So again, there may not be active terrorists to us, even though, cyber terrorism is a fucking thing some of y'all might want to learn about. We are negotiating with terrorists, giving back to get basketball players back while we leave people who have served this country in the same place. Which, guess what? If you guys don't know what espionage is, that would mean that Marine was spying on Russians on behalf of the United States. So whether he's guilty or not guilty, that's what he's being charged with. Helping ourselves. Not bringing weed into a country that you know is illegal. Guys, in this country, it's not often that I look and go, things really are bad. This is bad. This is bad. I said it when Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty on all charges. I said, you watch. The number of young men taking guns and doing shootings and shit is about to because we set a bad principle on what is allowed. I'm not saying I wanted to see Kyle Rittenhouse rot in prison either. I did not want to see him rot in prison. But I'm saying we set a bad principle when we do things like this, especially when they catch such notoriety. We just told other countries that if you happen to catch one of our people, you just are able to get your hands on them for any minor infraction, some long-seated, deep-rooted national security threats may be just, there you go. in a time where that country is actively at war and we don't know what's pointing our way because their enemy just joined the same alliance we're a part of. Hey, what the fuck are we doing? Someone please give me one good reason why we did this. Other than, caveat, other than when there's an American abroad, you get them home. Here's the caveat to the caveat. You cannot go to other countries and break laws and then just be like, help, help, help. I don't care if you're white, black, brown, LGBTQ+, straight, anything you want to identify as, your ass is gonna get in trouble for that. Guys, at what point is personal accountability a thing anymore? We took an F-level athlete, not grading her skills. I'm saying on the class of an A-list celebrity and an F-list celebrity. Brittney Griner was an F-list celebrity, F-. She goes in a time of conflict to another country with drugs, gets herself detained. In the big circle of all this, the only thing that happens, Russia gets back one of their most dangerous arms traders ever, while their enemy just signed the alliance to us. Now, all we've gained from this is Brittney Griner. That's a life. It's a human life. I hear you. I hear you all. Just Brittney Griner. Yeah, just Brittney Griner. A basketball player. Guys, what the fuck? We just gave one of the most notorious arms dealers known to national security back to one of our most worried about people for a basketball player. Notice how I haven't mentioned the success or non-success of the WNBA in this country? You guys know that. I don't need to say it. Would I be justifying this if they had LeBron for the same thing? No. Would I be justifying this if they had a politician for the same thing? No. A movie star? No. A podcaster? A comedian? A UFC fighter? No. I advocated for Cain Velasquez when he got arrested here in the United States because he tried to shoot the person who molested his daughter. And he spent almost a year in jail with no bond for that. Here in this country. No national security fucking people were handed back to other countries in defense of Cain Velasquez trying to defend his daughter from being molested hundreds of times. But Brittney Griner, the basketball player, brought a weed oil cartridge into Russia, trying to, whatever she was doing over there, getting ready to play a new game. Or I don't know how they were playing when the owner of the team or whatever is gone. He's fleeing the country. I would love to hear y'all's comments on this. I would love to hear what people around the world think about this situation. Please, leave me a comment. Let me know. Because boy, oh boy, is it concerning for your boy. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.